Hi folks, this is all the fruit. I'm in the botanic garden of Valrame in the town of Menton, in the foothills of the Alps, and at the same time on the Mediterranean coast. And here in this little pond, among a lot of water lilies and other plants, there is the lotus plant, Nelumbo nucifera. Remember the name nucifera, it means nut bearing. And that doesn't mean it does not bear stuff, but it does bear nuts. So the lotus plant is a very important plant for the nations of East Asia, East and South Asia, East, South and Southeast Asia. It's their symbol of purity because, well, it grows out of the muddy water and often even from the mud of the dirtiest ponds and swamps, but it never gets dirty or even wet. Look at all those water drops on the lotus leaves. They sit there like they don't belong, and you shake them a little bit, they are all gone. The lotus plant is a very important staple in Southeast Asia. You can eat basically everything. You can eat the flowers, the leaves, the stalks. The most important part is the rhizome, which lives in the mud of those ponds. And you can also eat the seeds. Well, there was once a time when someone tried to find a couple sponsors for researching and reproducing the leaves of the lotus plant to keep stuff clean, stuff like skyscrapers, airplanes, cars, ships and so. People laughed at him back then, but now the lotus effect is a well-known effect in engineering, and actually we produce a lot of surfaces which are shaped, where the surface is shaped like the surface of a lotus leaf to keep stuff clean. Basically, the surface of the lotus leaf has small finger-like protuberances covered with wax, and this wax coating and those little papillae on the surface of the lotus leaf help to keep it clean from water and all types of dirt. So the leaves of the lotus are very important, the symbolism of the plant is very important, and it's an important staple for hundreds of millions of people around the world. And here it seems like somebody knew that the little nuts or seeds are edible, because they pulled them all out of the fruit and threw them on the ground. It looks a little bit dirty. You have to make sure that they don't eat any date palm fruit here. So let's look closely. Most of those fruit are there. Here we have a lotus fruit lying around, a lotus nut or seed. Actually it's a seed. Well, look at the lotus seed. They are sitting in those little holes in the fruit. The fruit is like styropor, so it can swim for days or weeks or maybe longer, thus transporting the seeds over large distances downriver. And those are the little seeds or nuts. So when those holes open a little bit or rot away, those nuts fall out and new lotus plants grow. Now if you think you can just pop this nut in your mouth like this, no, it's not that easy. Well, cracking the tin shell is actually not too hard, but right now it's in an intermediate state. It's not really hard and not really soft, but something in between. It's really, well, it's almost like plastic, really tough. Once you crack it, you get something like this. Does not seem to be 100% well developed. It's a little bit soft and shriveled up. But then you have to peel the next layer. once you peel the next layer, you have to open the seed and remove the green embryo inside. Oh, it's so sunny here. I hope you can see something. I cannot really see the screen of my phone. Why do you need to remove the green embryo? Well, it is extremely bitter. This whitish yellowish stuff, which are basically the cotyledons, they're quite tasty, but the green embryo, you don't want to eat that if you don't like extremely bitter foods. So first you need to remove the nut from the fruit, then you have to remove this hard outer shell from the nut, then you have to peel away this papery skin, and then you have to open the nut and remove the embryo. And then you can eat the rest. Tastes more or less like hazelnuts in this case. In Cambodia, I saw people selling a lot of the fresh green fruit, looking more or less like this fruit over there in the distance. Or, let's see, there is one closer up. Basically looking like this fresh unripe fruit there. There it was quite easy to crack the nut with your teeth and remove the tasty seed. They were selling them everywhere in the streets as a normal snack. Very tasty. Mine was a little bit too old, so it was not as tasty as the fresh ones they are selling there, but still good enough. Actually, in Europe and North America, you can find a lot of those lotus fruit for decoration. They put them a lot in, well, like dry plant assemblages, so they put them in rats for graveyards and stuff like that. So you can actually find the ripe fruit quite often, and the ripe nuts are also edible. So maybe go to some of those flower shops, buy some decorative lotus fruit, pull out the little nuts, crack them, remove the embryo and try the ripe nuts. Or alternatively, go to Southeast Asia and buy some of the green fruit on the streets as a snack. So folks, this was the lotus nut from the, well, actually from South and Southeast Asia, but right now from the beautiful botanic garden of Valramé in southern France. Stay tuned for a lot more fruit videos from the beautiful Côte d'Azur in southern France. And don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe.